Hello, everyone. Hello, Rishvin Ismath. Today,
Hi.
we are going to have a chat together to know more about you, the situation of atheists and humanists in Sri Lanka, and in general, what can the global humanist community do to support the humanist community in Sri Lanka. So, hello again, Rishvin, and how are you today?
Well, not very good and not very bad. This is the usual life that I've been living in 2 years.
Yeah, it's the pandemic that is making everything worse. But today we can have this chat, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, it's up to you, and we can learn more about you. So the first question I have for you is a very simple one. Uh, how did you grow up in Sri Lanka? You were raised as a Muslim, am I right?
Yes.
Tell us
Uh,
more about this.
yeah, I was born in the northern part of Sri Lanka, in Jaffna. There was the war-torn territory at the time, and we had the civil war at the time. But at the age of 10, me and my family was chased away by the Liberation Tigers at the gunpoint, empty-handed.
Hmm.
So at the age of 10, I became a refugee together with my family, and we settled in a town in the central part of Sri Lanka.
Okay.
Okay, then we were managed to survive because my parents were school teachers.
Ah, okay.
Okay, that then the town was dominated by Muslims and not Muslims, but especially the Islamist movement,
Mm,
uh, such as Tabligh Jamaat and Jamaat Islami.
okay.
And uh, and I happened to join a school in the town called Zahira College, Mawanagar. The school is almost dominated by Sri Lanka Jamaat Islamic, a movement that advocate for building, a movement that advocate for creating a caliphate and making Sri Lanka as an Islamic country.
Wow.
So the principal and the members of the staff, my Islam teacher, and some other teachers were with that organization. So I enrolled in the school, and while I was studying, I was dragged into, not by force, but with my consent that I was dragged, I can say
Hmm.
that word, like into Jamaat Islami, because my Islam teacher used to say a lot of things, and I joined with them for their classes, lectures, training camps, and all. So I grew up as an Islamist. You should not uh, get confused with the word jihadist and an Islamist. Jihadist is a militant with weapon and an intention of what we call a terrorist act or something. An Islamist is an ideologist who supports jihad, but yet
Hmm.
not involved directly with jihad.
And
So
a question, is there any difference then between Muslim and Islamist?
yes, a Muslim is someone who just follow the religion for the sake of born as a Muslim, but he doesn't have a Muslim may not have any idea of making the world as an Islamic caliphate or making the country he lives as an Islamic state or bringing the Islamic rule to everywhere or
Hmm.
converting all others to Islam. A Muslim may not have this one, but the Islamists have this idea. Muslims are normal people. Islamists are from Muslims, but they are ideologically dangerous,
Ah, I see. So,
and jihadists are practically dangerous.
okay, now I understand. So basically, you were both a Muslim but also an Islamist in the sense that you were raised in Islamist schools, and you were raised with this idea that Sri Lanka should become a Muslim country, an Islamist country, because
Yes,
uh,
yes,
let's open a parenthesis about Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is not a Muslim country. It's the majority is Buddhist, right?
yes, you're correct. But you say that Islamic school, actually, I did not go to attend an Islamic school. It's a government school.
Ah,
It's a government school, but in Sri Lanka, the government schools are segregated by race and religion.
wow.
You will find Tamil schools and Sinhala schools. Tamil and Sinhala are based on race, and then Catholic schools are Christian schools and Muslim schools. Muslim schools are based on religion, Islamics, Islam.
Ah,
So normally a Hindu student will, normally a Hindu student don't attend a Muslim school. It doesn't happen very often.
okay.
So these schools are segregated for different people. So they attended a Muslim school. That school was dominated by people from the Sri Lanka Jamaat Islam.
Okay, wow. So how can you be assigned to a school? Is it just based on your race, your ethnic background, or is there like a process to get into?
There's a process too. Like there's a recently they started a system called marks. Like if your elder brother has studied, they give you certain marks, and if your father has studied the school, if your father was an old boy or a mother was an old girl, there's a system of giving marks, and the distance from the school to your residence is has certain marks, and how many older siblings are studying in the same school or study the same school have something, and this is the system is there. But
Okay.
schools are segregated based on religion and race. It won't be possible for it won't be so sorry, I can't say that possible. Non-Muslim student to attend a Muslim school or a Muslim student to attend a designated Buddhist school.
Okay,
It's,
I understand. And so going back to
but certain Catholic schools are open for all the students, and certain Buddhist schools are open for all the students. Certain Muslim schools are open for all the students, even though most of the students are from the same community, same race or same religion.
okay.
Even though they are open.
Okay, okay. So going back to you in particular, you were raised in a government school, a Muslim government school. And what were the highlights of your education? What were you taught by teachers?
Well, most of the subjects are as same as what the other students study. Where we go to the mathematics, science, language, English, all the same. But when you're studying science, there's a lesson about evolution or something. Your teacher will definitely mention, we are studying this only for the purpose of writing the examination. We are all created by the God. There's no evolution. And we came from the mud and water, clay, or whatever it is. We came from clay and created by God. This is, we are just studying this one only for the sake of getting through our examination.
Okay, okay.
So this is one thing. And the religion is a different thing. Like you will be with the same religious people, students, and teacher would be especially a scholar, or you could call it a Maulavi or Mullah. So most of the time, this Maulavi or the Mullah will indoctrinate his version of Islam or his sect of Islam.
Wow. And this happens in a public school?
Yes, in public school.
Crazy. Well, so tell us about your teenager years. So what did you believe in at that time?
Well, I believe whatever Islam forbids are harmful, regardless whether the world is practicing it or not. And I believe the music is harmful. I should not watch the movies, and wearing short dresses for girls as well as boys, more short dresses, and like shorts are prohibited. Like we have to always wear something to cover up until our knee.
So
And
did you say that music is dangerous?
Music is haram, yes.
According to the Islam, the Quran, which part?
I think the music is mentioned in Hadith. Hadith says
Hadith, okay.
Music is prohibited, and there's one Hadith said that Prophet Muhammad, we can call him Muhammad said that I have come to break down all the music instruments.
Ah, wow. So as
demolish, I have come to demolish all the music instruments.
So and, as a teenager,
we were told that continue listening to music will make your brain cells dead, and it will harm your knowledge, and it will harm your memory power. So you will lose your memory, brain power, and all. We were told like that during our school days by our teachers.
Wow. And so basically, as a teenager, you weren't listening to any music, or there were some kind of sacred music that you can listen to?
No, Islam did not prescribe any
Wow.
music, but Sufis have a certain type of music. But I was
Okay.
not grown up in a Sufi environment. I was grown up in a Jamaat Islam environment.
Okay.
But as a teenager, as whatever it prohibits that you can't help yourself listening to music like with the guilty feeling. That's the point. You know that you
Okay.
are still doing a sin, but yeah, I listen the bands of my time like Backstreet Boys, Gita and Ray.
Wow. And this was all thanks to internet, I guess, because with internet you
No,
can.
that the time that I was growing up as a schoolboy, there was no internet. But luckily, the Sri Lanka had still they have radio stations. They played some nice music.
Okay. Wow. And so, how did you became a humanist eventually, and when exactly? Because growing in such a fundamentalist environment must mean that you are very scared of leaving Islam, right?
Yeah, it's a long journey. It's not. It didn't happen like this.
Okay.
It took me years. Like I started my career in the sector in tourism sector. I
Hmm.
studied two languages apart from English, French and German.
Ah.
So I found myself fitting to the sector,
Mhm.
tourism sectors. But just I have started earning some good money, and at the time that 2004 December Boxing Day tsunami happened.
Ah.
So I was employed in one of the coastal areas
Hmm.
where there's most of the tourists are coming, and so I could say that I had a narrow escape. So at that point I was started thinking, okay, if I had died, what would have happened?
Hmm.
I might have end up going in hell according to my religion. So that I told you, like I might have listened. I was listening to music, but the guilty feeling was there. So same as I was working in the tourism sector, but kind of the guilty feeling is there. Is it uh, a good thing that I'm doing with it's a good thing. Is it a good thing for? Was it a good thing for Islam and all? That guilty feeling was there. I know that I was doing something prohibited by Islam, so that I wanted to quit that one, but I didn't have a immediate exit. But tsunami made it way for me to get an immediate exit, so that I left that job. Then I came back to my town where I was my family was living and where I had this school and I studied, and I joined with Wahhabist movement. This is Tawhid, they call it, one of the Wahhabist movement.
Hmm.
And I found a job with very less pay. So I can say that I got around 10% of what I was earning in tourism industry. So, but
Wow.
I satisfied myself because I'm doing all this for the sake of Allah, for my religion.
Wow. So let me recap what happened. In 2004, the tsunami gave you like a death experience. You started thinking about what would happen if I died, and you weren't feeling like a good Muslim. So you quit your job in the tourism sector. You went back to your own place, and then started a new life as a true Muslim, true Islamist.
Yes,
Wow.
yes,
And
yes. And
in 2004, how old were you?
at the time I was in my early 20s. I was
Early
just
20.
started, just started doing my first job in tourism career. But it was a pretty good job and with a lot of money. And yeah, it was in tourism, you know, that people like to spend, come for holidays. And tourism is one of the industries where you can earn a lot of money.
In Sri Lanka. Okay, okay.
Yeah, in Sri Lanka. Yeah. I was earning a lot. And, but yeah, I resigned the job and I quit the job and I started something in my hometown and I was paid 10% of what I was earning there around this is
Okay.
the amount. And but I had a lot of I spent almost all my free time studying Islam and
Ah,
spent it with the nearby masjid where we have visiting lectures, that means the mullahs, and whenever they come for lectures, that I spend my time with them discussing various matters about Islam and kind of I gained the knowledge which is not gained by other normal Muslims.
huh.
Okay, me and my friends, like the friends whom I got to know through this Islamic movement, we spent times like hours and hours. We were talking about the religion, reading, searching, and all it was going on. And during this period, like I had a belief that Muhammad married a 6-year-old girl.
Hmm.
That was something special thing for him, it was not for us. I was thinking in that way, but one particular scholar came one day and we were talking about this subject, but he refuted. He said, no, look at Quran 64:5, sorry, 65:4, Surah divorce, it's in Surah Talaq. So it says about divorcing prepubescent girls. It's prescribed about divorcing prepubescent girls.
Oh, wow. So when you found out that the Prophet Muhammad married Aisha, if I'm not wrong, that should be the name, who was a 6-year-old girl, what was your reaction?
Well, I accepted it because it's from the God. And we
Okay.
were already indoctrinated the idea that God is all-knowing, omnipotent, omniscient, and he knows everything, future, past, present, and all. We didn't know everything like the God knows, so that we have to accept everything that God does and accept it. Then, but I was thinking that it was only for him. Later on, this mullah show us the Quranic verse, and he said that law still exists. Then it was kind of uncomfortable feeling to me. But okay, I said that, okay, Shaitan, go away, Satan, go away.
Okay.
I want to have my faith. I don't want to use this one.
Okay, so you had some doubts inside, but then you self-censored yourself. You said,
Yes.
okay, don't think about it.
It's not doubt. It's kind of a disturbing feeling, but I self-censored it. I didn't let it grow up. It disturbed me a lot, but still, again, Shaitan, go away, and I self-censored my thought, and that's it. I didn't think about that one, but it registered in my brain. Okay, it registered, but I didn't think these two things, and certain more things also like similar to this. But if I don't want to go into the detail of all these things, otherwise it will become a total religious discussion. So all these things were in my mind. Then in 2009, after a few years working in that in my own place for a very less salary, I had an opportunity to go to Saudi Arabia for employment because I didn't want to go to any other countries. I found other countries are un-Islamic. So I thought that Saudi Arabia would have a nice Islamic environment where I can practice my religious beliefs and all. So I went to Saudi Arabia. For the next 2.5, almost 3 years, I spent in Saudi Arabia at a stretch, working in Saudi Arabia. But yeah, I was busy. And I told you, like, when I left the job in 2004 after the tsunami, I didn't have, I was not very good with money. But after working in Saudi Arabia, right, okay, I started earning a lot of money. Then first time I had my own laptop, Wi-Fi. Sorry, that was not Wi-Fi. That time it's 3G.
Connection with the cable.
with the dongle. So when I returned from Saudi Arabia to Sri Lanka at the end of 2011, in 2012, I had a lot of free time and I spent my time on internet. Then there was the time that racism was growing up in Sri Lanka against Muslims.
Okay.
So that time there was a secret group formed by Muslims, Facebook group. If my memory serves well, there were around 11,000 people. I was one of them. I was added to the group. The purpose of the group is whenever they found something against Islam or against Muslim, they will put that link, either a Facebook profile or a Facebook page or a Facebook group. So our duty is to report that one.
Okay.
This is a mass reporting group. So whenever we report, we will put our number like 1, 2, 3, 2. It will go around 300, 400. Like everybody will report and put their next number in the comment section.
Okay.
Until the page disappears. So then I was doing this one in the group. That the group name is we just need 2 minutes of your time. This is the name of the group. Now they have changed the name after the Easter Sunday blast of 2019 to Straight Line. Straight Line. Yeah, now they changed it and now it's a open group and they have removed a lot of Muslims and try to accommodate non-Muslims also. But the group still exists in Facebook.
Okay, wow. And
yeah,
so
this
was 2011. Racism against Muslims were growing and you were basically trying to defend your own community at that time. Am I right?
One thing is like I did not go back to my own my hometown. I stayed in Colombo
Ah, Colombo.
because
Okay.
yeah, because while I was in Saudi Arabia, my father passed away. Then mother had to come to Colombo. So
Mhm.
then I had nobody to go back there. Then I stayed in Colombo. Colombo is kind of mixed environment where you will find your neighbor in places where you will find your neighbor is a Sinhalese,
Mhm.
Buddhist, or Catholic, something like that. And I didn't know the neighboring people or the surroundings, so that I couldn't get connected with anyone religious wise,
Mhm. Okay.
Islamic wise. So then I was kind of kept alone. So there were Muslims, but they may be from other different ideologies of Islam, from
Hmm.
different sects. So I didn't interact with them. So while I was while I was reporting these pages, I couldn't help seeing the content of pages. So to be frank, like around 96 or 97% of the pages were total garbage.
Hmm.
So they were just having filth language and uh, racism against Muslims and filth language against Islam and
Hmm.
Allah.
You were saying you were alone in Columbus. You had no interactions with your neighborhood, but also no interactions with other Muslim people because they were coming from other sects, Muslim sects. So at that time, what did you do?
Well, that time they put me into the Facebook group, as I said, that racism was high in Sri Lanka.
Mhm.
So we just we just need 2 minutes of your time. So in the group, they posted the links of the Facebook pages, groups, and accounts, whatever they suspect anti-Islamic or
Mhm.
anti-Muslim. I spent my time reporting them. So while reporting, I can't help looking at the content. And
Mhm.
almost 96% of the pages or the content were garbage. They were using
Okay.
filth language against Islam and Muslims
Okay.
and
Okay. Okay.
racism and stuff. But around 3 to 4% of the pages carrying the constructive criticism against Islam and rational questioning.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Okay, while I was try to reporting, I couldn't help looking at them. So what I did is, instead of reporting, I bookmarked them
Huh.
and I
Right.
started following them because my intention was this is something kind of a different content to me and different level of thinking. I did not think that way before. Then the other thing is, I wanted to prepare myself to answer the criticisms because I'm
Okay.
a Muslim. I want to protect Islam. So that what I did is I was searching for materials and all these things, but eventually I was in a environment where I am not surrounded by Islamists, so I
Mhm.
am left alone to be myself, and I had a free space to think.
Mhm.
So then my thoughts started changing, and I was thinking, how can a man who came to guide the whole manhood marry a 6-year-old
Mhm.
girl and set it as a good example? Because Quran says Muhammad has a beautiful example to you.
Mhm.
Uswatul Hasana, the Arabic term used. So I was disturbed. So this took, it got carried further and further. So it took me around 1 year to leave the religion. I start stopping the religious activities as a Muslim. As a Muslim, I had to pray 5 times a day.
Yeah.
So then I stopped the early morning prayer because I didn't want to kill my sleeping. I slept because I started losing my faith because when I start thinking.
Okay.
So this is how my exit happened.
Wow.
It's almost on 1 year or little more than 1 year. In 2013, I left the religion, but still I was silent. I didn't got the courage to come out and say that I left Islam or anything. In 2014, I could not bear it because I was looking at the people who were in my previous position, the
Mhm.
Islamist. I felt okay. These people don't know. They don't receive the material such as this to think about the religion. So then
Mhm.
I thought that I should do something to make them think, at least to understand that they are following a wrong thing. Islam is not that, not, it's not something like that, what they think.
Mhm.
So I started presenting constructive criticism in a very light manner, not in very harsh words or very strong,
Mhm.
very normal manner, and I started presenting, and I started questioning the faith also and the practices, not in a harsh manner, very, very civilized manner, very soft words I started doing, but uh, many people did not get it clearly what I am trying to. Some people found it. There's something has happening because I have changed the faith or something. They doubted whether I have shifted to a Shia sect or gone to another religion.
Okay.
So they had their own doubts, and it was going on for another couple of years. Then one of the main suspect of the Easter Sunday bomb blast,
which was in 2016.
2019.
Sorry, yes.
19 suspect was my friend. He was a mullah, and he was my friend, and he was in my Facebook friend list also.
Oh, okay.
Then he started confronting me,
Okay.
and I had some arguments with him, debate in the Facebook with the comments section.
Okay.
It was going on, and then in 2016, all of a sudden, I started receiving death threats for the first time.
Wow.
And
so let me make a short recap, because you said a lot of good things here. Basically, you were in this Facebook group reporting all the anti-Muslim hate speech, but then sometimes you will find some positive content, some constructive criticism of Islam. And then you started thinking about, oh, maybe there's a good way to criticize Islam, and I want to be able to reply to this criticism. But then the more you started studying these arguments, you realized that Islam was wrong, and then you slowly lost your faith, gradually lost your faith. So you stopped praying in the morning, and then you started always online. You started criticizing Islam from your point of view, but this was considered blasphemous by some other Islamists. Am I right?
yes, you're correct.
And at that point, you received death threats by the people that are suspect of the bombing in 2019.
19, yes, later on, but it was in
Later
2016.
on. This was 2016.
It was in 2016. But by 2016, these people have started move towards ISIS ideology. And in Facebook, they were advocating for ISIS, and they were protecting ISIS ideology and justifying their cruel murders and rape of the Yazidi woman and slavery and all. They were justifying because the content found in Quran and Hadith, what ISIS was practicing, was there in Quran and Hadith. So these people were supporting them. And I had a serious doubt. These people have already started some links or some movements which started going on. Then I studied these people, and I already had known some of the people because I was with these Islamist movements, Sri Lanka Jamaat Islami and Wahhabist movement. So then the prime suicide attacker was a Maulavi, and he had come to Mavanella, where I stayed for giving sermons, so that I knew these people. So what I did is in 2016, I went to the terrorism investigation division of Sri Lankan police.
Wow.
Yeah, it is working as an intelligence wing, certain sort of. So then intelligence wing, and I went there and spent a whole day. I made a complaint about the death threats I received. That was a small part, but the rest of the part I spent explaining and giving statement about suspected ISIS activities in the country.
Wow. So basically, you were alarming the intelligence service that a terrorist attack was coming or possible. And what did they do?
Yes, I was not aware that what sort of attack is going on, they are going to do. I had no idea, but I know that something is going on. Something is, what do you call it, in the making.
Yes,
something
yes.
in the making. Something is going to happen. The tension is building up. So, but they recorded my statement, but they gave me their email ID, and they asked me to update time to time, which I did, which I properly followed, and I translated the materials whenever I find something, and I provided the details. At the time, I was known as a Muslim, so then I had access to the Muslim society. So whenever I see some suspected material, I contacted the other Muslims or some non-people to gather more information about the person, and I provided that information also, including the telephone numbers, but they didn't do anything. Then in 2017, Again, I received the threats. Then I went to the criminal investigation division, CID, cybercrime division, and made 2 complaints in July and August in
Okay.
2017. For that also, they did not do anything.
Wow. And you were
So
providing evidence. You were saying, look, they are actually planning it. They are talking about it, you know, so you should take action, and they didn't do anything.
no, they didn't do anything. And
Wow.
still, I kept on sending the emails, but they didn't do anything. But by 2018, somewhere around 2018, I lost my hope about these people. So then
Okay.
I stopped. Thereafter, 2018 also, I received death threats, but I didn't go and make a complaint because I know that it's waste of time, waste of energy,
Yeah. Okay.
and waste of materials. Because whenever I make a complaint, I always get all the screenshots, Facebook pages,
Yes.
and
Yes. Yes. Yes.
whatever it is in color print and URLs and everything.
Yeah.
I submitted everything in a very organized manner. So then I thought that it's not worth spending that much of energy for such a things.
Wow.
So I kept quiet. Then the things were going on. By 2018 end in December, I received the news about the destruction of Buddha statues in certain places.
In Sri
So,
Lanka.
but in Sri Lanka, by that time also, I was officially known as a Muslim in Sri Lanka. I had not declared
Huh.
that I had left Islam. So then still I had a context inside the Muslim community. So I got it confirmed that it is done by some people who were related to Sri Lanka Jamaat Islami and with this ISIS ideology. So then one of the guy who helped the police in finding those who were involved with the destruction of the Buddha statues was shot.
Huh. Okay.
But still, Sri Lanka Jamaat Islami and the supporting elements trying to convert the shooting as done by some drug addicts or drug
Okay.
dealers. They didn't want to accept it. It is done by Islamists.
Okay. Okay.
So when I write about that one in March, February, I think they attacked me. Some of them. They say that, but do you have any proof? How can you claim this is some drug things involved? Still, I have this screenshot in my Facebook, and the posts are still there in my
Okay.
Facebook. So they attacked me.
When you say they attacked you, you mean online?
Online, yeah,
Online,
yeah, yeah. They attacked me and say that they wanted me to remove these posts.
Okay.
Okay. So it happened. Then by that time, I was aware that something is going to happen big. So then I completely limited my outside movements.
Okay.
I completely stopped my unnecessary outside movements, and necessary movements I limited.
Okay. You went in hiding in some sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my own home. I didn't go outside.
Okay. Okay. So you
place where I stayed.
were in lockdown before the pandemic started.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I was in lockdown. Like I was in self-imposed lockdown. But I didn't know what was going on. And one day, Sunday morning, that was the April 21st in 2019, and I woke up to find out that some bomb blast has happened in the churches. Then I switch on the TV and I found it's a huge organized attack, and not only in the churches, cathedrals, it's in the tourist hotels also. Like eight places, 9 suicide bombers, something like that. And the news was emerging, and one of the non-police officer called me and said, "Do you know who attacked?"
Now they called you.
He's a friend of mine.
And friend of mine. I thought the police. Sorry. Okay.
No. He didn't have the power to do anything. He supported me. So then he called me and said that, "Do you know who attacked this one?" I said, "No." Yeah, I'm still following. He said, "The same people who you have reported to the police."
Wow.
But he was angry about no action being taken.
Yeah.
So then thereafter, later the media published all the stories, and I was in hiding at my home. 1 month after the blasts, officers visit my home from TID, Terrorism Investigation Division, Terrorism Investigation Division, my home, and they told me that ISIS had tried to kill me several times.
Wow. So
they had followed me up to my home and the places where I went, and they had made several attempts before the bomb blast, but they couldn't shoot me because the reason is I was living in a kind of a prime area in Colombo and I was moving around. So they could not find me in isolation. If they had found me,
okay.
they would have killed me. But all the places were either crowded or with protected with the CCTV cameras and
okay.
surveillance. So
Wow.
they couldn't execute their things because they didn't want to be found before carrying out a mega attack blast.
Okay. So basically, the attack was on 25th of April 2019. 1 month
21st,
later, sorry, 21st. 1 month later, you basically went on hiding in your house, and then 1 month later, you received this news that someone actually tried to kill you twice, but they failed because they could not find you alone.
Not twice. Later on, from the investigations that intelligence and the terrorism investigation division both found around 6 attempts.
6. Wow. Okay.
6 attempts. Yes.
Oh, okay.
But at that time, they informed me about 2 attempts. Then later on, like a year later, they informed me about another 4 attempts. Like while I was going for the practices and some other things that they had followed me, but they couldn't execute. The reason is they didn't want to be found.
Okay. So yeah. And so at that time, you were an atheist, a humanist. How would you define that yourself at that time?
Yes, I had by heart, I had already left Islam. I was not a Muslim, but I had not declared it public.
Yeah, you didn't came out as a atheist and a humanist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But they had guessed it from my writings and my questionings. They had guessed it. I had already.
Okay. And what happened after that? So 2019, you started going low profile. You didn't want to go out, and you tried to protect yourself, right?
Yeah, and then they informed me in May. This blast happened in April 2019, and in May they informed me, and they got my statement about the findings, and it matched what they found, and my statements matched because there were certain moments that they have mentioned that certain day I had gone to certain place and certain place. Okay. Sometimes the dates were like go a little up and down, but the
overall it was
overall it's matched.
Is it at that time that you founded the Council of Ex-Muslims of Sri Lanka?
No, we found it in 2016.
In 2016, okay.
16, yeah, we found it in 2016, and that time we were only anonymous.
Okay.
Like the organization was there, but people did not know who were representing the organization, and many of the Muslims refused to accept it is a real organization. They said that somebody is doing a fake thing on Facebook and social media and creating news. This person cannot be Muslim, like that. Some of my friends suspected whether I am behind this one, and they asked me, but I never accepted that time that I am behind. I'm one of those who were behind the Council of Ex-Muslims of Sri Lanka. But after the TAD report, and I found that they had tried to kill me for around that time. It was 2 times. Later on, I found about another four instances. I don't know how many they have tried. So then I decided that time the Parliamentary Select Committee appointed by the Speaker of Sri Lanka, conducting the inquiries and recording statements from the relevant people who were involved one way or the other into these matters, and the officers and the public and all. Then I wrote to them that I want to give my statement, and TID, Terrorism Investigation Department, have given me such a detail, and I had given them the statement 3 years back. So I want to give my witness statement in front of them. So they allowed me, but unfortunately it was in front of the media. All the cameras were there.
That was a crucial moment for you, because basically for many years you didn't show your face to the public, and you weren't like coming out as a non-religious person. But then when you were doing your statement, cameras were there and your face went viral in Sri Lanka, because basically you were saying, look, this was something that I said back in the days, the terrorist attacks were in preparation, you ignored my alarms. And also, I think you mentioned also that Islamic textbooks in public schools were inviting people to kill atheists and miscreants, right?
Yes. So my statement had two parts. One part is about the murder attempts done by the ISIS. The second part is about I exposed some materials from the school textbooks issued by the government of Sri Lanka. So the second part went viral in the media. The first part was asked by the commission not to make it public because the information that time considered as sensitive to the national security. Okay. Because the investigation were ongoing and they decided not to publish the murder part, the murder attempts, but they published the other thing. But in that interview, I had no option but to declare myself as an ex-Muslim.
Okay.
Okay, so then I declared myself as an ex-Muslim, and I made the statement. I presented the books that it has been taught in Sri Lanka for 38 years that punishment for leaving Islam is killing, not even capital punishment, not capital punishment. It is said killing, not death penalty. It's said the exact word killing in Tamil, kolai.
How long has this been taught in schools, did you say?
38 years.
Wow. So for 38 years in public schools in Sri Lanka,
yes.
the Islamic one, kids were taught that you need to kill people who left Islam, apostates.
Yes.
Wow.
And still until now, while we are recording this statement, the teacher's guidebook for a grade 12 students contain a hadith. It says there will be some people, they will be young. They are young. There will be some people, they will be young, they will accept Islam. Sorry, they will follow Islam very strongly, and all of a sudden they will leave the religion.
Okay.
Wherever you find them, kill them.
Okay. So it's still there. It's still there.
It's still there until today. It is still there.
Wow. It's unbelievable. But so at that time, your life changed dramatically, I guess, right? Because
after I was on the media, so that I gave the statement and I came back home, and the next day all the television channels, newspapers and radios, newspapers had published my statement in the front page, and I was in the headlines of the news for the next 2 days, and my entire family wanted me to leave the home.
Wow.
They hated me, and they hate me, and they fear their own safety also.
Yes.
For both reasons. Then I was left without food for the few days. Even I didn't have proper food. Only I was left with my mother, and she also wanted me to leave. She didn't like, and she was like behaving like somebody's already dead. She was behaving like, because it was too much for her and she couldn't bear it. And then I was forced to leave my home, and nobody was talking to me.
And at that time, you already reached Humanists International, because I remember we already started collaborating. And when we received the news of your basically outcoming, because basically you didn't want to go on television, right? You didn't want to be exposed.
No, I didn't have any option, but it happened.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a time to think and arrange anything, because I received the invitation from I write to them.
Okay.
And I received the reply in 2 days or 3 days in time. And that I received the invitation on a day at 4 o'clock in the evening to ask me to be present in front of the Parliament Select Committee next day 2 o'clock. I didn't even have a 24-hour time.
Okay. And
so I have to tell that the time I was inside the Parliament waiting room, Bob Churchill from Humanists International called me, and you were on me with WhatsApp. He called me and he talked me. Bob was there. Churchill called me.
Yeah, I remember we were really afraid. And then, it was a bad moment in the end, because Can we say that you are the only outspoken ex-Muslim in Sri Lanka? Or,
Yes.
yeah, it's
No,
crazy.
others are afraid of coming out because they know that what happened to me and what kind of difficult time I am going through
Yeah,
until
yeah,
now, until this moment.
yeah,
I cannot lead a normal life in
yeah,
this
yeah.
country.
So that's why you are the only public
Yes,
ex-Muslim, and
yes,
everyone is afraid now because they saw what happened to you after you came out as
yes.
ex-Muslim.
Even before I came out, they knew it would happen to them. But
Okay,
now they have a
the proof.
example in front,
Yeah, yeah.
proof in front. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, proof in front.
And then 2020 started with the pandemic, which made things even worse because being an apostate, being an ex-Muslim in Sri Lanka during a lockdown can mean a lot. For example, you mentioned that some people were forced to pray 5 times per day with their families, even though they were ex-Muslims. Am I right?
Yes, when they were going out for studies or a job, they had a window, like they were away from their Muslim families, so that they can skip these things and they can be normal. But the pandemic made
Okay.
everything worse for them, so they had to stay inside home. It was not lockdown in Sri Lanka; it was curfew. Like you cannot leave home. Lockdown is something a kind of a relaxed situation.
Mm.
Curfew was you cannot leave out of your home. You have to stay inside your home.
Wow, it's even worse.
Yeah, it's worse. Like so the curfew situation that they had no window at all, so that they had to stay in between the fasting month. Ramadan came,
Huh.
that their situation become bad to worse.
Wow.
So most of them got depressed because they couldn't eat, they couldn't drink, and some of them hiding some water or something underneath their bed and drinking. Some of them couldn't have that option,
Wow.
and I don't know whether everybody had a very comfortable washroom where they could feel drinking something from the washroom. I'm not sure, but yeah, it was a very bad time for them.
Wow. And it's not even over because we are still in the middle of the pandemic. I don't know what's the situation in Sri Lanka, but is there a curfew or a lockdown on?
Till the end of the last month, we had a curfew, but the government now have no option but to relax something because government is losing revenue to run the government, run
Okay,
the
okay,
country.
okay, okay.
So
So
there's
it's
some relaxation, but we have almost all the known variants in the world, whatever
wow,
it is, the lambda, alpha, or whatever it is. I think we have all the variants and it's
wow.
spreading, and government is left with no option but to open the country to some certain extent. And
Okay,
I don't
okay,
know where it's going to, but at the same time, the vaccination drive is also going on. Not sure which one will win.
okay. And going back to your case, so basically now you are in a hiding, you are still receiving death threats, or at least you are exposed to criticism. And how is your life right now? How do you feel?
It's threatened, and I live in fear, and I am depressed. And I don't know whether you noticed or not that I was not talking very fluently and in an organized manner. Like,
Okay,
yeah, I'm not very uh,
functional. You're
functional,
okay.
concentrating. I try my best to, but I don't know whether I put everything in a very organized order. I'm
Okay,
kind of unorganized and depressed and going through a very difficult phase of my life.
yeah. And humanists
Because
in
because the COVID situation had added the salt in the wound.
yes, yes. I can understand what you're saying because it was already a very difficult situation for you. Then the pandemic made it even worse because it's affecting the life of everyone. But in some cases, like apostates, ex-Muslims, it is making it even worse. We saw it with humanists at risk all around the world. People who's trying to find freedom or safety, they cannot do it because traveling is impossible, let alone going abroad. And yeah, it's terrible. Humanists International is trying to do whatever we can to support your case and the case of many other humanists at risk. And that's why we want people to support our campaign the Protect Humanists at Risk campaign, because we need to support people like you. You are not only an ex-Muslim in Sri Lanka, you are a human rights defender in Sri Lanka. You are advocating for women's rights, LGBT rights, free thought, and all other humanist values like democracy, secularism. And one thing that I really like about you is the fact that, in general, about the Council of Ex-Muslims of Sri Lanka, you advocate also for the rights of Muslims. You want to defend innocent Muslims for being persecuted, because we believe in freedom of religion or belief. And this should show to people that we humanists, we want to defend the rights of everyone, everywhere. We are not like a sect. We simply want people to live a life of freedom and safety everywhere. Am I right?
Yes, actually, our issues is only with Islam, not with Muslims. So when it comes to the Muslims, only with the Islamists, not with the normal Muslim people. I can recall one incident like following the bomb blast, the police and the military were searching the houses of the Muslims, and they found the rusted old swords from the Muslim houses, some of the Muslim houses, and it was on the media. Swords.
Sorry, the SWATs.
Sword.
Swords.
Sword.
Okay, yeah, I got it now. Yeah.
Swords. Okay. Rusty swords. Rusty swords. All the rusty swords were
Okay.
found from some Muslim houses, but the media was making it an issue, like saying that these swords were connected to the ISIS.
Okay.
But we realized it is something wrong propaganda was being carried out. So
Yeah.
then we came forward and we released a statement saying that as we come from the Muslim community, we know these swords were not for the jihadist purpose. Either they were for the self protection or for settling the personal disputes. Like they, even though they are Muslims, they have the issues with the neighbor or they are within the family. Yeah, for these things are happening, and not only Muslims, and there's some other people also having. Even though it is illegal, it is illegal with a small fine of very little money for having a sword, but these are not related to the jihadists.
But the media were trying to use this as a scapegoating strategy to say, all the Muslims are attached to ISIS.
ISIS, yes. These words were portrayed as the part of the ISIS. ISIS thing, but we came forward and we released the statement in 3 languages. But we were attacked by the racist people from the other communities, like anti-Muslims. Anti-Muslim elements attacked us and saying that you people are pretending, your people are not ex-Muslims. You still have,
unbelievable.
You still have the Islamic think inside. It is now coming out. You were just pretending.
So basically, you, on the one hand, you are attacked by Muslims saying you are an apostate of Islam, but anti-Muslim people is saying you are not a real ex-Muslim. So you have to fight 2 different fronts. It's paradoxical. Wow.
Yeah, when you want to be in the right place and to talk the truth, it happens. Like you can't satisfy one or another. You have to be in the right place.
Yeah. Wow.
So even what is very sad is Muslims don't understand that we are talking for them.
Yes.
Like they don't realize what it will be like living a religion. What is the religion that they are following? So that we try to educate them. We say that Muslims are the ultimate victims of Islam. Muslims are the ultimate victims of Islam.
This is interesting.
So they should be liberated first, but they don't understand that we try to liberate them from, or we try to educate them about their faith. So they look at us as enemies, but we feel sorry because why? But I can understand Muslims because once I used to be a Muslim. I know when I was a Muslim, if somebody had come and reached me or advised me in the same way, I would have looked at that person through the eyes of enmity. So then that's what I can understand Muslims, but Muslims can't understand us because Muslims had never been as ex-Muslims, but ex-Muslims once upon a time Muslims. So then we can understand them and they can understand us.
Wow. All right, Rishvin, it was a long chat. I think we chatted for 1 hour. And
Okay.
we have a lot of material for that. I want to ask you something about humanist at risk in general. So as you know, Humanists International every year runs a campaign called Protect Humanists at Risk. And with the money raised from that campaign, we support humanists at risk like you in many countries where basically being an atheist is illegal and is also punished with death penalty or prison. In your own words, why someone should support our campaign, and why is it important to protect humanists at risk around the world?
Well, I know that how Bob Churchill supported me the time that I was waiting inside the Parliamentary Select Committee, because he was the only one that time called me. I think it was a WhatsApp call that he made me from your office at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it gave me strength. And after that, all this going on, you and Emma doing a wonderful job. And even I know that the cases supported by you, still we know the case of Mubarak Bala, who was imprisoned, and many other cases. So there are very few organizations or very few individuals to help, but Humanist International is one of them, and it has a large membership base all around the world and a good supporting team. So you have more reach. These people mostly persecuted for their freedom of belief and freedom of expression. So these people should be supported. Uh, Mainly, they are either imprisoned or cornered. So their own community, their own governments, or the society is not supporting them. So these people badly need the support. So this support should go from out. So that connecting bridge, the main connector is Humanist International. I see Humanist International as the main connector to give some oxygen to these people.
Mm-hmm.
So even in my problems, I know how much advisors and guidance I got from Humanist International, and how you support the Council of Experts team of Sri Lanka in our works, and our annual general meetings were supported. So that I know that the value and the work that done by Humanist International. So I request the people who are watching it, if you are willing to support Humanist International for their work that they are doing, not only for supporting the persecuted people, for all others. There are a lot of fronts that Humanist International is working. So there are the different campaigns they are carrying on for LGBTQ people, and some political reforms and law changes, amendments, and abortion rights and all. So in different things, you can help them wherever you feel comfortable, and you feel wherever you feel like it's the most needed thing to be done in countries where it deserves.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Thank you so much, Rishvin. It was a very nice. I can't wait to meet you in person at some point. We have been chatting online since 2019, and it's now 3 years that we are looking forward to meet each other. And we will do everything in our capacities to support your case and the case of every other people, humanists at risk around the world. And I can simply say thank you for being so brave in defending and promoting humanism in your country. It takes a lot of courage to be who you are. And remember, you are an example for the whole humanist community all around the world. Never forget about this. And when I say it, I mean it. You will see how many people is following you, and and they think you are an example to follow. So keep this in your mind when you're feeling down. And thank you again for having this interview with us.
Thank you, Giovanni, for your wonderful time and having me for the interview and all the support. It's a pleasure to be in one of your interviews. Thank you very much for
It's
the
our pleasure.
opportunity, and thanks to the team, Humanists International.
I will. Thank you, Rishvin. Cheers.